A lot of the events I do are what's referred to as type 2 fun. So you might actually physically and mentally hate what you're doing on the day, but the next day, a week later, a month later, you look back on it and you think, wow, I really pushed myself as hard as I could that day, and it gives you a good glow when you think back on it. You tell your friends, you tell training partners, and then you want to come back and do it the next year and the next year. You get addicted to it. For most of them, if they have one of my events in their calendar, they are focused on getting themselves as fit as possible for that day, which means that in the 3-4 months beforehand, they have been eating as healthily as possible, and they have been not having any treats. So they look forward to the minute they cross the line, being able to splurge on the stuff that that they've missed out on.
So it's almost the opposite of what you might think.
Yeah. For a lot of them, as soon as they've crossed,
it's a reward for them.
Precisely. You know, it's the first pint of beer in 3 months. It's the first fish supper in 3 months. So whilst for many of them, whilst you think, right, okay, we want to create really healthy food for them, certainly the night before, it's get as many carbs in your system as possible, and immediately afterwards, it's splurge. So from my point of view, don't go too over the top trying to create the kind
salads
of food
and healthy options.
Do what you do best, do it well, and people will come back again and again.
Are we seeing, people who are taking part in physical challenges like this, bringing families? Is it?
Yeah, I think that's a fairly standard way that people would, take part in an event, particularly if it's something that involves you committing to like an overnight or a weekend trip away. Hopefully your friends and family want to come and cheer you on, but if nothing else, you might need somebody who's there as a kind of support that will make sure that you're kind of got your clean clothing at the end of the line, you're being fed properly.
Well, I guess the question is, how do we entice those visitors to stay for a bit longer beyond the event that they're particularly here for? What can we do?
I guess the key thing is about promoting what else there is to see and do locally. So if somebody's committed to come and take part in one of Highlands events, then that's great. They're committed to that, but they might want to extend their stay rather. So if that means that they can understand what other things there are to see and do, what visitor attractions are nearby, where are the great restaurants, what are the great nature experiences that you can encounter, all of those things help the whole of the experience that the event participant and the event attendee would have.
There are huge communities on Facebook. And so simply, one of the biggest is the Open Water Swimming Society. It's absolutely huge. It has millions of members, not just throughout the UK, but also many worldwide. And they are a very tight-knit bunch. Once you understand the needs of the open water swimmer and you get involved with them, then they will become loyal, and they will promote for you, because
word of mouth, which is such a powerful tool.
Particularly in cycling, every Saturday and every Sunday, cycling clubs across Scotland are going out for their 4-hour, 5-hour club ride, and every single cycling club will have 2 or 3 favourite cake stops. That's all cycling is about going for a coffee and going for a cake. And if you provide good facilities for the cyclists, somewhere where 15, 20 bikes can be easily stored for half an hour, where they can get a good coffee, where they can get a good cake, where it's warm on the wet days, or where they can sit out on the sunny days, then they will be loyal, and they will come back time and time and time again.
So there's no one size fits all here thing. I think that's important to remember, that different events and the types of people that come to different events will vary from event to event. So even a music festival, you might find that the audience demographic for that is maybe a bit younger than the typical tourism audience might be for that area. If it's a kind of more mainstream arts and cultural event, it might be a slightly older demographic than you would otherwise expect. So I guess it's important to make sure that you're catering for what those what your visitors may actually be wanting to do when they get there.
So are you open to have local businesses, smaller businesses, get in touch with you and try and work together to sort of create new products and create, a better experience for the visitors?
Absolutely. Although the vast majority of the people who participate in my events come from Scotland, majority being the Central Belt. We're getting a larger and larger proportion who are coming up from England or who are coming from places like the Netherlands or Norway, and they're wanting to not just have a day trip, not just have a weekend, they're wanting to make a full week of it. And more people are not just coming for the event itself, but 3 months beforehand they come in a small informal group with a couple of friends and they'll go for a recce. We are regularly getting people saying, what's the best place to stay nearby? Where can we get transportation? All that kind of thing. So the more that we can get help from them, then the more we can help them to not just fill their facilities on event weekend, but at other times throughout the year.